Have you ever looked back at some of the relationships in your life and wondered how they began? What exactly makes you connect with someone? Think about some of your closest friends or your significant other. What was it that initially brought you together? Did you plan on becoming close, or did the relationship just happen? These connections we form with people sometimes feel kind of everlasting. That because we understood each other in the past and we understand each other now, this bond will last forever and we will always remain close. But what happens to this relationship when you decide to change, to set new goals and work on becoming a different version of yourself? Well, the harsh truth is you're probably going to lose people that you love. This is what I had to realize as I embarked on my journey of personal growth. It was a tough pill to swallow, but as I understood why that has to happen, I was able to reach acceptance and move on with my life. Before we go on, I just want to remind you to like this video and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. That really helps my channel grow to be monetized one day so that I could put more time and energy for doing this type of content. Thank you so much and I appreciate all the support. Now let's continue. To understand why losing people is part of change and growth, we first need to see how do these relationships form in the first place. So let us go back to the first question that I posed in this video. What exactly makes you connect with someone? How do these relationships begin? I'm pretty sure that most of us can't really pinpoint to an exact moment when a relationship is formed. These are things that we can't really predict or plan. They just happen naturally, usually sparked by some alignment or understanding between two people that compels them to get closer to each other and deepen their relationship. Something as simple as enjoying the same hobbies like going to clubs, attending a drawing class, or playing a sport could form that bond. It could be something deeper than that, like prioritizing the same core values or pursuing similar goals where you would support each other. Sometimes it could also be some kind of shared past experience where people overcome hardships together and that forms a strong bond between them. So as we can see, this alignment could be anything. Relationships are complex and form in many different ways and for many different reasons that might not be immediately clear to us. But generally, the initial spark and beginnings of a relationship are crucial as they lay the foundation upon which relationships are built and sustained, providing the fuel that would make them last for years, until one or both individuals decide to change. At some point in our lives, due to some event that we go through, we start to become more self-aware and conscious about who we really are as individuals and where our lives are heading. It becomes clear that there are certain changes that we have to go through to head on a direction that fits better with who we want to be. We start to work on ourselves and our journey of personal growth begins. This journey often starts with small steps like reading self-help books, watching educational videos, or seeking advice from friends and mentors, etc. All of these actions are part of a self-transformation process that slowly reshapes our identity and outlook on life. And since this process of change usually entails things like cutting old habits, building new ones, and setting new goals in our lives, it will eventually lead to a turnaround shift in our priorities, especially when it comes to our core beliefs and interests. Meanwhile, the people in your life at that point are either doing the same things that they have been doing for years or are heading on a different direction in their personal growth. Your values or whatever spark that held that relationship in the past disappears, leaving you not knowing how to deal with these same people anymore. You stop understanding each other and you slowly begin to get dragged down by them, and so naturally the relationship ends. This of course doesn't mean that you or they are bad people, it just means that you are heading in different directions and are in different phases in life. I remember as I started focusing on my future and figuring out what I want in life, many of my old friends with whom I was mostly just taking drugs and having fun didn't really understand why I was suddenly so busy and distant. Our once shared interests started to diverge, and it became clear that we were on different paths. Our priorities became different. And it was a really tough realization back then, as I lost most of my friends and ended up on my own. But that was necessary for my growth. I had to let go in order to move on. But letting go is never that easy, is it? Realizing that we have to let go of some people when we change is emotionally draining and heartbreaking. It is so tough to move on from those we care about, even when we know that a relationship isn't working like it used to. We prefer to cling on, ignoring all the signs instead of facing the truth. What we need to keep in mind when we have to face these hard decisions is that in order to continue our growth, we have to leave certain things behind in order to make room for new things. It can't go any other way. And that doesn't just include some habits and behaviors, it includes other people too. Letting go is a journey in itself. It involves grieving the loss of what we once had and accepting that change is a natural part of life. This is not to say that those relationships were pointless or not valuable, but rather they played a crucial role in our lives at some point, but may no longer serve our current path. Think of it like a book. Each chapter builds on the last, but not all characters make it to the end. Some exit early, leaving space for other characters who would push the story forward. If you are fortunate, as you grow and change, you might have these rare kind of people in your life who happen to also grow and head in a direction in life that is similar to yours, and you grow together instead of drifting apart. But even if you don't have such kind of people, this crucial lonely chapter that most of us have to go through is necessary as much as it is temporary. As we change, our lifestyle changes with us, and we need time to adjust and figure out where our true values and interests are. And once we figure ourselves out, we will attract the people who will align with who we are now and who will share our values and mindset on things. After losing almost everyone in my life and being in this lonely chapter, it was really dreadful for a while. And what helped me initially to go through it was joining certain online communities who shared these new values and interests that I developed, and it was a good way to cope until I figure myself out. And what helped me even more is knowing that I am walking on the right path in life, no matter if I will remain alone or not. At that point, I realized that being on my own is much better than being with the wrong people. As time moved on, things started to fall into place. I was closer than ever to myself, and new relationships started to sprout in my life, creating a circle that aligned more with who I am now. What I'm trying to say with all of this, and what I hope that you will get out of this video, is that as you change, you are going to lose people. And that is okay. Remember that it is better to stay true to yourself than being with the wrong people. Just take your time, be patient, and the right people are going to come into your life when you're ready. Embrace the change, even if you have to go through all of this on your own. When you look back, it will all be worth it.